Alright, so hi guys. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm making my soup. And so I'll just tell you guys the ingredients as we go along. So first I'm going to start out with chicken thighs. And I'm going to put them on my cutting board. And when you're working with chicken, if you don't know how to work with chicken that well, I advise you to use either pre-cooked chicken or don't cook with it at all, because you can die from salmonella poisoning. So what I'm going to do before I season it is take off the skin, because the skin is not going into my soup. So there is no reason for me to season the skin. And I should really have a knife doing this, but you know, make it work. So these were just frozen in the freezer. I got this pack from Winco. And this is actually the whole pack of chicken, which is about 6 thighs with the bone and skin in it. So I'm prepping this to cook in the oven before I put it in the soup. And when it's all cooked, we will put it in the soup. Oh, now that we've gotten our chicken all skinned, I'm going to start seasoning the chicken. So the seasonings I always cook with are, sometimes I'll do cayenne, always black pepper, onion powder, this Tony's Creole seasoning. The only salt I will use when I'm cooking. And some paprika, and some garlic powder. Now, when I do make my soup, I will throw in some Italian seasoning, and I can't seem to find that right now, but I will when I start concocting the vegetables. So what I like to do first is season with the salt all on one side. Make sure it's good and seasoned so that when it cooks, it makes the chicken taste good. And then I go with my pepper and my garlic powder. Ooh, I smell that. Ooh, that pepper. I might have to sneeze. Okay. Onion powder. And I found my Italian seasoning in front of my face, obviously. And I like to cook chicken with paprika now. I have no idea, because the paprika I have is smoked. I like the smoky flavor. And I won't put cayenne on the chicken because it will get too hot. And so when I'm cooking with chicken and seasoning, I season both sides. And I make sure I turn the chicken over with tongs or with one hand. The hand I'm not picking up the seasoning with, so that I don't get any of the chicken juices on the containers of seasoning, because that can transmit salmonella as well. So for the purpose of the video, I'm turning it over, picking it up with the tongs. Okay. So I'm just about done seasoning the chicken on the other side. So after that, I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. Now, what I did not realize until before I started shooting this video, because when I defrosted the chicken, I defrosted it before I went to work. I did not notice, however, that this is bone in. So whenever you cook, first of all, dark meat in general takes longer to cook than white meat. So your thighs and your legs will take more time to cook than your breast. Well, if the breast was smaller, it'll take less time to cook breast and wings. So now I'm just going in with some Pam original, and I'm spraying it on the flour that's put on the pan. So anytime you cook chicken, no matter dark or white meat, it takes more time to cook with the bone in than out. And if anyone knows how to cook, you know that that's always the case with any kind of meat. So I'm just going to put this in the oven on 400 degrees, sanitize my cleaning area, and come back when I'm ready to cut my vegetables up. I'm going to start the vegetables now so that when I add the chicken, the soup will be completely done. So I'm back to cut my vegetables. And because I want to elapse, whatever you want to call it, the time, I'm just going to show you the fresh vegetables that I'm going to cut up. So I'm going to have half a head of cabbage, green cabbage. You can use any cabbage if you like red cabbage or whatever. A whole onion. Maybe not all, but a few of loose carrots. And my parsley and cilantro, I'll be putting into the soup probably at the last minute just to give it a little bit of that flavor going on. So what I'm going to do that I need to explain is that I have not washed this. What I do is I cut it up and then wash it because it gets more, because obviously they're leaves. And the onions and carrots, I'm going to just not wash them because the carrots I'm going to be taking the skin off and the onion's already encased. And so I'm going to start on that. Okay, so welcome back. I chop up all my vegetables and I have this pot preheating. Over here is a pot of boiling water with some sea salt in it. Basically boiling salt water. And then I'm just going to stir it. It's not yet boiling. But that's that. So in here I'm going to basically cook my vegetables a little bit. Let me check the chicken first. Chicken's coming along nicely. So in here, I'm going to use a little bit of vegetable oil. Just a little bit to coat the pan. Oh, that's a lot, actually. Well, it's a lot, but whatevs. So I'm going to start with my onions and put them in there. You turn up the heat because it's not sizzling like I want it to. So they've been sweating now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is add this to my salt water. And my water is not yet to a rolling boil, but it will be. So I'm just going to stir that around. And then so I'm going to add a little bit this time, promise. Teeny bit. So I can just coat the pan so that it doesn't burn. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my carrots. And so what I didn't do with my onions, which I should have done, was season them. So I'm going to take a little bit of sea salt. Just a little bit, because you're going to, when your soup is all done, you're going to season to taste. I'm going to take a little bit of Italian seasoning and put it on the carrots. And just sweat them out like I did the onions. Okay, so I moved it over here, and you can't see it because of steam, but basically, so far, this is what I have in here. Oh, this is what I have in here. Let me see if you can see that. Bring it up to a boil. Now I'm going to add my frozen vegetables. I'm going to add this whole pack of corn, and it is 12 ounces. So I'm going to add this to that. And that shock of cold basically cools it down. And so now I'm going to add cut green beans, and there's 12 ounces too. And then just give it a stir. So basically all... Okay, so now it is time to add the chicken. And before I do that, I added the bones to the soup just to extract some of that flavor and seasoning. I will take them out. They're not staying there. Okay. And so what I've done is just diced up all the meat. And I'm just going to put it in there.